Okay, so I'm going to speak to you about a piece of work that I made a few years ago. I think it is quite a straightforward piece of work. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to describe it within 5 minutes. So the work comes from an exhibition I did. I made all the work during the pandemic, um, and it was kind of the exhibition also opened and then closed because like it opened when things kind of started to get back to normal, and then um, Omicron came and it closed. So it's very much wrapped up in the pandemic. This exhibition. So at the time of the pandemic, as you're aware, we were all suffering from a zoonotic illness, and there was also like a huge mass coral bleaching event. So I made work that was sort of about our relationship to coal and to coral, and this piece here is the piece I'm going to be speaking about today. Um, so another view of it is maybe here. So basically, what this work is about is actually deep sea coral that lives off the coast of Scotland. So there's a species which is quite common called Lophelia pertusa. During the time when I was working on this exhibition, I was working with a academic at the University of Edinburgh called Murray Roberts, and he's a specialist in deep sea corals. So I thought it was maybe interesting to look at this a little bit more because, previously, before starting work on this, I wasn't really aware that there was reef building corals living actually not that far away. Mostly you tend to think of, the Great Barrier Reef and all these kind of, or like the, Caribbean or the Red Sea, these kind of tropical corals. But yeah, there's actually coral living much closer to us and building reefs and, huge reefs that are, things that have been made over like tens of thousands of years. And are currently right now facing a lot of difficulties due to things like trawling and oil and gas exploration, and also ocean acidification related to climate change. So I think to make some sense of this work, you need to know a little bit about lithography, which is, so all of these images were made on a stone like this one, which is a piece of limestone. And so the stone is drawn up and then you print directly from the stone. And you do also use acids, which, the limestone and actually the skeletons of the coral reefs are actually the same material. And in fact, I mean, this limestone is a Jurassic limestone, which was kind of made by, corals blocking off bits of the Tethys Sea and making these like very acidic environments or high salinity environments that could kind of compress into these bits of solid carbon. So the way this, how are we doing for time? I may be running out of time. So the way this work was made was basically I drew up a stone, and I'm going to put a video on in the background to kind of, we'll see a bit of the printing process. But I drew up a stone and then using acid to kind of replicate the increasingly acidic environment that these coral reefs are facing, so there's the stone there. It was a close-up of it, the drawing on it. So the the images were sort of printed all from the same stone that you saw before. But there was a process of deleting the bits of the stone using like a very strong acid, which you're about to see in a minute, maybe around here. So it was just sort of looking at the ways to visualize disappearance and dissolution, and to make something that would sort of bring a bit of attention to this issue of ocean acidification. Hopefully that makes some sense. I don't think I have enough I thought it was a straightforward piece of work, but it's actually maybe not. So in any case, I did bring a piece of lithographic limestone, which has been drawn up. so you can get a feeling for what it's like. And I will maybe leave it for you near the donation bucket. And if you want to make a donation, then you can touch the stuff. Thank you.